Hey! You are listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Welcome to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast with James Wilson and Rob Eickhoff.
Semi-seconds in automatic minutes, finishing to diminish the position that was given risen.
And boom.
Okay, back again.
Back again.
Yet again.
Episode 45.
45, man.
45. We're getting closer,
Dude,
man.
we're less than 2 weeks or 2 months away.
7
from
episodes away from
a year.
52.
Yeah, Kelly was asking, so is 52 the year mark? Yeah. Or is it 50? It's 51? I don't know. She was trying to confuse me, as she often does with asking. But I'm going with 52. Episode 52.
Episode 52 will be a year.
It'd be the 1 year anniversary
That's
episode.
what I said. It's not fucking complicated.
No. Cool.
That's not helping my armbar trying to decipher that now.
It's all right. But on that note, we do have Kiele handling our social media stuff and other things. So we're going to be a lot more active on Instagram and Facebook and sharing stuff. And you and I actually got together yesterday and had a Grumpy Guy filming and planning day. So we're actually getting more organized with this. So I think we feel like if we're going to do it for a year, we might as well grow up a little bit.
We can mature now.
Mature a bit.
Put a little more direction and focus into it.
Yeah. So it's fun. I mean, it kind of got the video stuff got inspired. We had one of our listeners had a question about the rotational finish for the rear naked choke. So we shot a video for that and posted it on our website and sent it out with the podcast update newsletter. And I was like, shoot, that was pretty easy. We can do more of that. So we got some exercise tips and some technique tips coming up that we're going to be releasing over the next few weeks. So exciting stuff.
Yeah, just keep an eye on the Grumpy Guy BJJ Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
See us on there.
Follow us
Kelly's
there.
She's putting in the work.
Make sure you sign up for the newsletter, the podcast updates, because we'll be keeping everybody updated with any new stuff through that. And so, yeah, I'm excited, man. Yesterday, I was a little tiring, putting in the work, but I was pretty excited by the end of it. We got some good ideas for ways we can help people out with old Grumpy Guy.
I'm pumped.
I'm pumped. That's right. That was the thing we realized our emotional. That was funny, man. The OKRs. It's what would you call it? Like a
business strategy.
Yeah, it's like a planning session.
Yeah, planning. Yeah, there you go.
Right, and one of the things is you record your key moments over the previous 30 days, and then you record your emotions associated with those key moments, which for Rob and I doing this together,
it was either pumped or bummed.
Right.
There wasn't much in between. We had two emotions.
It's funny, yeah, you
Pumped
realize
and
that your emotional vocabulary can be a little limited. And I've done this a couple times with my other business, with Pelling Innovations, and I told you it's hilarious because you end up just trying to come up with a different word for happy or something like that, so you sound intelligent. I don't want to say, happy, sad, pumped, whatever. It was, you come up with 4 or 5 things, but until you sit down and you try to all right, here's these events. Now put an emotion to them. You're like, well, shit. I don't know. A word that describes an emotion. That's one of those weird things that until you sit down and try to do, you don't realize how hard it is. And it's an interesting thing.
It's confusing.
It's confusing emotions.
And I know these fucking stupid emotions.
So
I don't do well with them.
I don't know. Maybe drop that part. I'm still not sure what the point of the emotions is.
Gave us something to talk about, apparently.
For 3 minutes. Yeah, set the time for 3 minutes. But that's 3 minutes we could have back working on arm bars.
For sure.
Oh, here's a concept for you. That's right. I was going to ask you about this.
Oh.
So, what about the concept of investing in future arm bars? Right? So like
investing in your future self?
Yeah. So like yesterday, for example, right? Like we could have gone to noon class, but we didn't because we were working on Grumpy Guy. And the hope is that Grumpy Guy is going to allow us the opportunity in the future to have more time to work on our arm bars. Right? And so in some way, we're like investing in future arm bars.
By not doing arm bars?
By not doing arm bars in the present and doing things that will help you, you're sacrificing arm bars today in hopes that you will get more arm bars in the future. Right?
That makes sense. I think about that quite a bit, honestly, because being a semi-responsible adult, you have to make those decisions sometimes.
You do. It's a fine line.
It can't always just be all jiu-jitsu all the time.
No, it can't.
Unfortunately.
No. I guess that's where that balance thing comes in.
I'm not a big fan of the balanced life.
Good.
I'm really not. I don't...
Moderation in all things, including moderation.
Yeah, fucking moderation. Moderation is good for mediocrity, is what I've come to determine. Like, if you want to be okay and mediocre at something, yeah, be balanced and moderate it.
Yeah.
But if you want to be better than fucking average and mediocre, like, you don't need balance.
Yeah, I think balance it's trends over a long period of time as opposed to a daily. There's periods of time where like you have to be unbalanced, but you have to recognize that you're being unbalanced. So like, if you're leading up to a tournament or something, for example, like you're gonna need to put in more training time, or hopefully like you need to be a little unbalanced. But if you did that all the time, it would cost you in other areas. So there are times when you need to invest in these other areas, but when you're doing something, it's like, yeah, attack it. Like it needs to be an all-out war with it in a completely unbalanced fashion, not like just trying to get through your day in a balanced manner every day, 365. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I guess there's benefits to being balanced, but I don't know. Like I'm at a place in my life right now where I can be unbalanced and it doesn't affect too many other people.
Right.
And I dig it. I kind of dig it. But me being unbalanced has kind of led me into this position.
The irony.
The irony of that.
Right, yes.
Kind of put me in this position.
Glad that has not been lost on you.
No, it hasn't been lost.
Good.
It definitely has not been lost.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a matter of perception as to whether you see that as good or bad. I see, because I've thought a lot about this. Like, I think people will say, oh, you got to have balance in your life. Well, I think it's those people that fucking tell you that. It's because they look at a really successful person and they say, well, that person's unbalanced, so it makes them feel better about themselves. Like, oh, I'm living more balanced, that's why they're succeeding more. You know what I mean? I think it's a way to, you look at the Michael Jordans or the LeBron Jameses or the fucking whoever, just these ultra successful athletes. You're like, oh, these are some unbalanced motherfuckers. Well, yeah, but look what they've done.
Yeah.
It makes people feel better about themselves.
But it's not sustainable.
Eh.
Well, I mean, at some point they have to, I don't know. Maybe it is sustainable.
There's only one way to find out. Just keep running unbalanced until you fucking hit that brick wall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the world of athletes, especially professional athletes, you see that. Like, if they don't realize, like, man, this isn't gonna last forever. I can't do this forever. My body just can't take it, and can't make that switch. Then they have a tough time. Even Michael Jordan had to make that change. He's like a businessman now, owns a team, so you got to.
Well, you can't. Your unbalanced obsessiveness doesn't. You will never win the fight with Father Time.
Yeah,
Father Time's coming.
Right. Well, that's why I meant like trends over the long run. So
you're saying in the end result you need to be balanced?
You know, that's it, man. I mean, it's funny. That was one of the stories in Plutarch. I forget who the fuck it was, but some king was talking to somebody, like bragging about all his shit, and old boy was like, "Man, we Greeks don't count anyone lucky until they're dead. Like, you just don't know how it's gonna end." So, the end result obviously is where you draw your final judgment, but knowing that final day is coming and there's gonna be some twists and turns along the way, you gotta keep some other things in mind. So I don't know. We've talked about this before, because the funny thing is at the end of the day, being humans, we're social creatures, which means that like we both need socialization, and there's gonna be a day when we're gonna need to call on other people to help us, because unfortunately we're just, if you make it through your whole life without ever needing anyone to help you out, like, that's awesome. That's an outlier thing. Right. You're gonna have to. So there's an investment in that, both in that, like, I need socialization, and there's just a give and take. There's just a certain amount that I have to put into my social tribe in order to get what I need out of my social tribe to meet that socialization need, so I just don't turn into a sociopath and go crazy. And also that, like, paying money into the social bank account, so that when you need help, there's enough people who are like, oh yeah, that dude's helped me out, like, for whatever reason, he's a good guy, and I'll help him out. So again, it's one of those things, like, neither one of those directly improve your arm bars per se, but the pitfalls, like, because it allows you to be balanced over the long run, so that you have those future arm bars you're investing in. I don't know if that not necessarily makes sense.
No, I see what you're saying.
So
it makes sense enough.
Yeah, I just, again, you see yourself the results of too much unbalanced, and man, you can just look at history. Like, that's the thing. None of this shit's a mystery. No. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just read your fucking... It sounds like a rhyme, I know this, but it's not a mystery. Just read your history. And
did you just come up with that?
I'm just saying
it's a t-shirt right there.
It's a t-shirt. But you can see, like, what happens. X behavior leads to Y results. Like, 80-90% of the time, that happens. Like, you have your Homer Simpsons out there, man. Like, they exist. You cannot judge how you're going to run your life based on how Homer Simpson got to the moon. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's some people like that. But for the most part, you see that certain actions lead to certain things, and history has people who didn't recognize that and led, I guess, again, it's like unbalanced is just, you can't be it. Even Musashi said, like, if you want to know the way of the sword, you got to study, painting. You need to understand other ways. Like, understanding other ways helps you understand your way. So being a good friend, being a good, partner in a relationship, it helps you be a better jiu-jitsu player. Like, there's lessons that you learn from jiu-jitsu that help you there, lessons from there that help you with jiu-jitsu. And, like, that was kind of his point. He talked about a lot. Like, if you focus too much on the one thing that you want to be good on, it'll actually retard your growth. And so it's that ability to branch out. But it's hard, because it seems like you just want to do jiu-jitsu all the time. That's what's going to get me better at jiu-jitsu. But again, man, history shows the greatest warriors usually had more than one interest in life. So
yeah, you're probably right.
Probably right.
Probably right.
Yeah, that's why I got my guitar back there that sits there gathering dust. That's my theory. I want to learn how to play the guitar, man. I want to get down with it. I got Happy Birthday down, so I got to figure out something else. I need more low-hanging fruit for me to play, because it sucks when you try to play a song and it doesn't work.
I have zero musical talent.
Yeah, I don't know what a hard song, easy song, you know what I mean? Like, they don't list them on the fucking websites as like, here's a white belt song. Here's a 0 stripe white belt first day of class song. Here you go.
Did you ever take a lesson yet? Did you decide?
No, man. No, that's maybe what I need to do.
I would probably suggest that route.
That's probably
the move.
See, I'd asked Tim, and Tim had said, nah. He did. His reasoning was that, and it was sound, that at that point I didn't even know how to play the chords. Like, I didn't know how to do anything. So he's like, man, just pick 3 chords and just learn, get the fingering down, learn how to play those. Look it up on YouTube. It's not a mystery. And and then pick 3 more when you get those down. That's kind of how I learned to play Happy Birthday, because it's just some basic chords. And then I looked up and it's like, oh, it's just G, C, D, whatever the fuck it was. And but at this point, I kind of know some of the basic chords, but now there's some of the more advanced chords where I'm looking at it and I'm like, dude, I don't know if my fat fucking jiu-jitsu fingers can do that, or if there's just like, I'm not looking at this right. How do you get your fingers to do that? And then, just trying to play more advanced stuff. So it probably is a good idea. I think, like in most things in life, I'll need a teacher at some point.
Teacher, mentor, or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I will put that down. But yeah, that's the point, man. It's balanced versus unbalanced, and unfortunately, an unbalanced life doesn't lead to your goals. So. Yeah,
I would have to say it may lead to goals, but it doesn't necessarily lead to happiness.
Yeah.
That's what I would have to subscribe to, I think.
Yeah.
Because you kind of get lost in the past. Because then when you end up achieving a goal, you realize, well, the goal's not that fucking great. It was the struggle to get there. That's the jam.
That's the jam.
Is the struggle to get there.
That's right.
The anticipation's always fantastic, Just once you get there, you're like, I've felt victim to that so many times in my life. I say felt victim. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but
it's hard not to.
I'm not a victim, but yeah, like thinking that something, like thinking you're going to achieve something that's going to be so great, or once you obtain it, or whether it's a material thing or something you accomplished, like it seemed so hard when you initially started that process, and then you got to it, you did it, and then I don't ever think oh, that's awesome, I accomplished that. I'm like, well, fuck, if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not special. So I completely discount what I did, and I'm not happy with it, so then I'm just on to the fucking next thing.
Yeah.
Instead of stopping and taking a second and looking like, oh, that was fucking pretty good, I accomplished that. Right? I always do that. I always like, well, fuck, if I can do it, it's not that great.
Yeah. Well, when you achieve it, I forget, it's a Shunryu Suzuki quote or something, some meditation Zen guy that's written a bunch of books or whatever, but he said something about, because he's talking about meditation, but he said that once you achieve this power, it'll be nothing special. Before you achieve it, it'll, and again, I'm butchering this quote, but it's just before you achieve it, it'll seem almost magical, but once you do, you realize it's nothing special. And that's the problem, that's once you get it and you achieve it, what is really behind it, you're like, oh, there's nothing magic here.
Nothing magic there.
There's nothing magic here. And it puts it into a different perspective, because when you're looking at it, it's just like, holy crap, man, but that's what makes it fun. I mean, it was funny, last night kneading bread, I was, helping Kiela get bread ready to bake, and, dude, it was funny. I tried to knead the bread and I did it all wrong. And if you do it wrong, it'll stick to your hands like crazy. It's a very immediate feedback loop sort of activity that if you fuck up, it's letting you know you're fucking this up, man. And so I did it all wrong. And then I wanted to know how to do it right, man. I wanted to know. At that point, it was a mystery. It was like magic. It was like, holy crap, how do you do this? And I knew it. I was like, and Kiela's like, you don't have to if you don't want. I was like, no, now I have to know, because like
I can't just quit.
yeah, it's a mystery at this point. It's like a magical thing. Like, I need to know how you do this. How do you do this? And again, and then once you do it, and I'm sitting there, and you got to knead it for 10 minutes, and once you're like 8 minutes in, it's no longer anything special. You're just trying to get through it. But it's funny, man. Our brains are attuned to that. Like, you come across, we're problem solving machines. That's what it is. And then once you solve the problem, you're like, then the mystery's gone, obviously, because you've solved the problem. And so you're like, oh, okay, well, cool. But that's what allows you to move on to the next thing, because otherwise you just sit there and keep staring at the same problem, going like, dude, look how fucking cool my answer is, man. This is fucking awesome. Wow. So there's almost something to it to have it ourselves discounted a little bit, because then we look on like, all right, what's the next mystery for us to solve? So that's the people who get stuck. They fall in love with some beautiful answer they came up with to a problem, and they don't realize they're like, dude, there's new problems, and we're trying to figure those out, and you're just stuck over here going like, dude, look,
I solved this problem.
I solved this problem. Look how awesome it is, man. Like, let's just worry about that. It's like, no. So, anyways, dude, my dog purrs. He's funny when he's happy.
He's just chilling. Eickhoff the podcast mutt.
Eickhoff the podcast mutt. Yeah, it's one of our sponsors.
Yep.
So,
anyhow, so in the jiu-jitsu world,
yes,
you see that what's the acronym? Like the United World Wrestling Championships are going on in Kazakhstan. Okay, am I saying that right?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think I am. It's going on right now. It's a pretty big wrestling tournament. It's submission wrestling. The rules make it kind of wrestling heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do one day of gi, or no gi is the first day, and then gi is the second day. But they like you can get like 5 points if you basically, how like you win a judo match, if you get an opponent, it's called like if you hit a good throw, the person lands pretty much flat on their back. Mm-hmm. Like that's how you win a judo match. Well, if you hit a throw like that to where like you pick somebody up above your waist, their feet get above your waist, and you dump them, like you can get like 5 points. So it really encourages people to go for big ass throws.
Yeah.
If you get a takedown if you initiate a takedown within 3 seconds of the ref saying fight, and you complete it, not only do you get 2 points for the takedown, you get 2 points, extra 2 points for fucking getting after it.
The getting after it bonus.
Yeah, the getting after it bonus. And if you pull guard, like say you try to pull guard immediately, you get negative. The other guy will get 2 points for the takedown, plus 2 points for the getting after it bonus. So they really discourage fucking pulling guard. They really reward takedowns and fucking high level takedowns. It's kind of cool, but you can reap. I don't think you can heel hook is the only thing.
Huh.
But like they don't have any bullshit IBJJF reaping rules.
Yeah.
It's straight up, some and neck cranks, twisters, you can do all that shit, wrist locks. I think heel hook's the only thing that's not allowed. Huh. Which is kind of weird, but
it's kind of weird.
A little strange. But I'm speculating that I haven't watched a lot of the matches, but there might be a lot of guys wearing wrestling shoes because it's really wrestling heavy.
Yeah.
And so if you wear a wrestling shoe and someone gets that heel hook, you're not slipping your foot on there. And so they're trying to look out for the wrestlers, I'm guessing.
That's nice of them.
But it's a big ass tournament, man. Because they have basically, it's kind of like not quite a team format like that quintet is. I mean, there's teams. For example, like there's a Brazilian team, like both the Meow brothers are there.
Yeah.
I forget who else is on that team. And, there's a U.S. team, and it's pretty fucking sweet, man.
Nice.
So I think it's on Flow Grappling. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to watch matches.
Yeah.
I did see though that fucking Paulo Meow got booted out because of his doping suspension. Remember he got popped like 2 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, no. he got popped. He failed a drug test, IBJJF drug test, or USADA.
Yeah.
I think it was USADA or WADA, whoever does it for IBJJF. He failed a drug test like 2 years ago and got a 2-year suspension. And his suspension isn't up until like September 29th of this month, so like a couple weeks. Well, he went over there and competed. Him and his brother were both on Team Brazil, and he won his first match. And then some USADA officials like, wait a second, this guy's fucking suspended. and he got yanked from the tournament, dude. Like, flew all the way to Kazakhstan, whatever the fuck it is, won a match, and like, no, like, you are still this tournament falls under USADA rules or WADA rules.
Yeah,
like your suspension is still in effect. Like, you can't.
Man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's fucked up, man. Like, they let him enter the tournament, be part of the team, everything. Because he's competed since then. Like, he got popped 2 years ago. He just can't compete in IBJJF.
Right.
Or technically, he can't compete in anything under WADA.
Yeah.
Or World Anti-Doping Association or whatever it is. And he thought this tournament was okay. And apparently somebody else did too. Because, I mean, they let him fucking register and make it all the way through a first match where he won.
Well, it is Kazakhstan or wherever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not quite as.
So
they're like, hey, made it here. Let him wrestle.
That's
how we do it here. Yeah. Did you see that video? I think Joe Rogan had posted it. I don't know where he got it from. And it was, the caption was, meanwhile back in Russia. And it was some giant freaking grizzly bear of a human being. And, two normal-sized dudes, and the two normal-sized dudes
fighting that gigantic
going after
guy.
him. Yeah, man.
I saw that video, dude.
Oh my god.
Only in fucking Russia, dude.
I'm like, oh wow, this is who we're gonna have to go to war with at some point in the future.
That big dude was fucking those little dudes up.
Dude,
Did you watch it?
Well, he knew, man. There was one moment where he almost kind of started to go down, and you could tell. Like, he was like, no, like, I'm getting the foot. Like, he knew the fight was stay on my feet. Like, don't get down. I'm sure he could get the fuck up, but they'd have a much harder time dealing with, people
with
on
two
his
people,
back. Yeah, trying to get up. And, but yeah, dude, he was fucking those dudes up,
straight fuck. Well, he was huge. I bet you he outweighed both those guys put together.
Probably, man, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he had some fighting skill. I mean, he wasn't like a high level fighter, but he knew how to scrap.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was hitting him with some knees and checking some kicks and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Dude, that was hilarious. Let's watch that. But those two dudes were, by the end of the video, I was like, man, those guys are either crazy or got mad heart or something. Because, I mean, he was just swatting them away.
And
I mean, they were just getting
back.
pummeled into the ground. And then, like, yeah, the dudes would come back at the end. Like, one dude's, like, hanging onto his leg for dear life. Just, it's like they just kept running back into the fray. I was like, oh, my God. This is hilarious. But, anyway.
That falls into sometimes you don't need a plan, you just need balls.
That's right. Yeah. Well, those two needed a plan. Their balls.
Yeah, they had balls.
The balls were not working.
They needed a fucking plan.
Yeah. That was fucking hilarious, man. So, that's, listening to the Elon Musk interview. And,
it's a little frustrating listening to that interview.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's, it's interesting. It's like I'm probably like, less than an hour or so into it. So, but yeah, we were talking about a little bit the artificial intelligence thing, like how we're already forming it, and it's gonna reflect us, and I don't know, there's some interesting shit going on. But dude, that dude's hilarious. Like, listening to him, you can just tell his brain works on a completely different level.
Completely different level.
He's like trying to how do I put my answer into a way that these people can understand it, because if they saw what I saw, they wouldn't even ask this question. It's a fucking stupid question. But yeah, no one cares about the existential
purpose of the hole.
Yeah, the purpose of a pit.
Yeah, he's like, people dig pits all the time.
Yeah.
I just got to get a permit and I dig a pit.
Yeah, no one's worried about that.
No one's worried about what's happening with the fucking pit.
Yeah.
They don't care. That question's not on the form.
Right.
I fill out a form and I dig a fucking pit.
Yeah.
That's it. And Joe just couldn't get that.
I know.
He just wasn't, like, that answer just was too simple for him. Like, he was expecting, like, this long, complicated answer. Like, he had to pay off politicians. He had to go, no. He's like, you go to the city and say, I want to dig a pit on my property. They say, okay, fill out this form. I'm sure you pay a fee. You dig a fucking pit.
Yeah.
They send out some surveyors, make sure you're not going to blow through a gas line, and you dig a fucking pit.
Fucking do it.
That's
man.
it. Yeah, Joe wasn't It's funny, like, when you hear Joe Rogan interview people, like if he doesn't hear the answer he's expecting, you can tell it really fucks him up. Like there was he interviewed this guy that's running for governor in New York, Larry something, I think, or whatever the fuck his name was.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't get a chance to. I haven't listened to it. But I know.
So the guy,
like a libertarian guy.
Yeah. So he's got this, he's got this education plan, to revamp the school system in New York State, and part of it is he wants to like get rid of federal funding, like cut the school budget by like $4 billion, because he said there's just too many goddamn administrators.
Yeah.
He's like, there's like fucking 8 administrators per one teacher in every school. He's like, it's absurd. He's like, so if we cut the funding, we cut the number of administrators, and we can focus on what's really important. We don't need as many administrators if there's not as much federal paperwork to fill out and boxes to check.
Yeah.
So we don't need all these fucking paper pushers. We just need people to teach the kids. Like I'm not a really smart guy, but you can see a system. Like, oh, that makes sense. We just need less overhead. We need more people doing the fucking work. Yeah. Dude, he was explaining that basically the way I explained it. He explained it like 4 different fucking ways to Joe. And Joe was just like, well, how are you going to do, I don't understand how you're going to cut funding to the schools and the schools are going to get better. And when he asked it again, I'm like, okay, fair enough. So that Larry dude explained it again. He tried to explain it a different way. And Joe's like, well, teachers are very undervalued as it is. And I could tell the politician dude was like, where's this guy coming from? I didn't say we're ever going to pay teachers less. Right. I never said this. Right. I never once said this.
Right. We're not getting rid of teachers.
We're not getting rid of teachers.
We're not paying teachers less.
We're not paying teachers less.
We're getting rid of the high-level bureaucrats that are just eating up funds, fucking 60 cents plus of every dollar that goes into the system that the kids never see.
Yeah, it was not a terribly tough explanation. Yeah. Dude, there was an hour worth of that podcast that was explaining that plan to fucking Joe. Yeah. And I was just yanking the steering wheel while I was at work.
It's interesting, man. It's really a hard concept for people to wrap their minds around, that things can get too big. Bigger's not better. Right? So having the federal government run schools is not necessarily better than the schools being run on a smaller,
more local level.
And it's the same thing with business, right? A bigger business is not necessarily better. There comes a point where a business is so big that, like you said, they're employing more people just to do fucking paperwork and keep up with, the nonsense that it takes to just keep that business open than actually providing a valuable service to customers, right? And they're also causing more damage to the environment and stuff than they can replace than good they're putting into the system.
Dude, I see that all the time at my job. I work for a big-ass fucking corporation, right? Yeah. And there is a lot of shit. I get in trouble on a semi-regular basis. Nah. For this reason exactly, because there is so many processes and steps they expect you to do. Yeah. And it is strictly to fuel somebody's job who isn't adding any fucking value to anything. Right. They're just pushing papers from one to another. One desk to another desk, and it's absurd. And there's just things if it's not really convenient for me to do, and I'm not a rocket scientist, but I can see this is not clearly adding value to the fucking company. Right. Yes, it may be making this other person's job a little easier, but it is not fucking adding value. You cannot explain to me how that's adding value, because it's not servicing the customer. It's slowing me the fuck down. I can explain to you on several different levels to why this isn't. Right. I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm just not fucking doing it. You can do whatever you want. You can talk to me about it. We can have a fucking meeting. You're not going to explain the importance of this stupid task to me. Hell yeah, I see it all the time, dude. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, man. You see, I saw it running a business, both Pelling Innovations and having a gym. It's as the business grows, it's really weird. It takes more... Your more money is going towards just keeping the business running than actually towards providing that valuable
Providing
service.
Yeah.
And so at a certain point, like, so, you know, and for whatever reason, we have this idea that constant growth is the idea, and like bigger is better. So like if you're not growing, you're not getting bigger every year, then you're dying. And you know, I don't know, like obviously if you're an organism, you could make that argument, but as industries and stuff and businesses, I think that there's that sweet spot. It's like what's that number, the tribal number, like, you know, 75 to like 150 people.
Like Dunbar's number?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
150 people, basically.
Right, yeah. Like, I think that you reach that with a lot of, you see that on a lot of different levels. And that kind of what that guy was probably alluding to is, man, we're so far past Dunbar's number with this whole federal government running the school system, that it's just insanity, and the only way to get it back under control is to dial it back. Like, you can't, you're making it bigger is too big. Like, you don't make something that's the problem with it is it's too big already. You don't fix that by making it bigger.
You don't throw more money at it.
Right. It's like, it's not the money. Like, I forget what it is, but this whole, like, we spend more money per student than, I mean,
that's what he was saying.
He
was dropping the statistics that New York is actually like the highest state in the country. Like, they spend more money per student than any other fucking state.
And when you look at it like on a worldwide level, like, you know, I don't know who's number one, but I know that we're not like fucking top or bottom 10 or something. We're like top 5. You know, we're not underspending on students. Like, that's the thing that always, like, it drives me nuts when you talk about that, or when
schools
people talk about this, right? Or this whole, like, you know, when the Air Force has to do a bake sale for a fucking bomb, then it's like, God damn it, get the fuck out of here. You guys are so misinformed with sentiments like that. But that's the whole point, is like, we're not underspending on students. We're just grossly mismanaging the money that's being spent on the students. So you can't expect the people who are currently mismanaging the money to their benefit to really have a vested interest in fixing the system. It's just not. Why would it? It doesn't benefit them. Like, there's people that enjoy just pushing papers and
I think
collecting a paycheck.
That was part of the problem. This guy, he was trying to explain it in the easiest way possible without flat out saying that they were going to have to fire people, because he's running for election.
Yeah.
You know, and the vote's going to come up in a couple months. And I'm sure, I mean, I've never ran for an elected position, but I would have to assume that if you go on record saying, yeah, this is my plan and we're going to have to fire a fuckload of people, that's not going to necessarily win you a lot of votes. So he was trying to not say that directly, and I think that's what was like mucking up the conversation, why Joe just couldn't fucking process it.
Yeah.
Dude, that one was frustrating me. I'm like, God damn it, man. It was like listening to the Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson podcast arguing about truth.
Yeah.
for an hour and a half.
So, yeah.
Like, God damn it, man.
Anyways, yeah, that's an interesting thought, but I just know myself, man, looking at dealing with the school system with my kids, like, it's definitely broken. Things are not heading in a good direction in public schools, for sure. So, but anyways, that was the deal. That's right. There was one point where they were talking, Elon and Joe were talking about technology and just saying, like, you know, you don't see us ever dialing it back, right? Like, technology's on this fucking runaway thing, and we're just like, why did we ever dial it back? And I'm just sitting here like, well, again, this isn't a mystery. Like, history will tell us what's going on here. You can see it almost every other revolution. Like, even like, so the Industrial Revolution, like, we're at least acknowledging, like, we've got to figure, like, we got to dial it back, right? Like, there are at least environmental standards now, whereas, like, there weren't at one point. You can even look at, like, you know, sugar, right? Like, I've said this before, like, I think that, like, Facebook, social media, a lot of the technology today, it's like sugar when we were kids. And you see that there's definitely been an acknowledgement like, hey, too much of this shit is bad. We got to dial it back. So, like, humans are funny. Like, they tend to go running headlong down roads, but for whatever, again, this may be the one that we don't. But it just seems to me that this idea that humans won't self-correct, again, it just doesn't seem accurate. So I think we're going to realize things are not what we want them to be. So,
I think it's slowly kind of self-correcting at the same time as it's growing right now. You know, because a lot of people are going back to more like handcrafted shit. You know, they like that, like the farm table and the handmade stuff. You know, people dig that.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of there's a lot of people like me who fucking hate social media. You know, and don't put it on their phones and don't fuck with it as least as possible. You know, because they see it, they realize the fakeness of it.
Well, there is, man. It's like sugar. It's great in the moment, but man, there are consequences.
There's consequences.
There's long-term consequences to overconsumption of it, and like, yeah, people start to realize it. So, you know, I think like the virtual reality thing. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but I think there'll be a self-correction before we all end up just
plugged in.
See,
I don't, man. I hope there is, but I think we're gonna get to the point to where like it's a Ready Player One kind of scenario. I think we are at some point. Like they're gonna make that virtual reality so good that people are just gonna want to spend all their fucking time there. I think you don't think that'll happen?
I don't know, man. See, I guess that's the thing is like, will it ever really be as satisfying as actually doing it? You know, like.
But if your brain thinks you actually did it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, if you're able to fool the brain 100%, but I don't know if that's
is that possible?
Is that possible, or will it always be? Because you'll know, like you know.
Like, I didn't know
it's a game.
I only did that when I was plugged in.
Right. I couldn't really die. You know, I might lose my character and, oh my God, I got to start over. But that is not the same thing as, like, climbing a mountain for real, knowing, like, holy shit, I could have died. Or, I don't know. I feel like that there's an element of reality that you're not going to be able to completely fool your brain into not, you know, acknowledging, unless you're just born and plugged in from day one.
That's where I see it happening. Like, if that's
all that you know.
If that's all that you know. If that's where everybody you know that does cool shit is always plugged in. And where all cool shit is done is plugged in. And the non-plugged in life is just for...
Dude, I can't, I don't know, man. I don't know, but you'd have to be unplugged. I'm saying, like, if you ever unplug, like, I don't know. I guess, yeah. I don't know. That'd be interesting, man. That'd be an interesting, like, kind of concept for a book or what, like.
Well, they've written a lot of books like that.
Well, no. I mean, like, you're plugged in, but, like, for whatever reason, it just doesn't, something's off. Right? Like your brain recognize, like that is it. Like your brain will, for whatever reason, you can fool it 99.999%, but for whatever reason, your brain just like, there's just a different reaction that it has to the reality. I don't know. So then people just start, you got a few people who figure it out. It's the Neos that have,
Took the red pill.
Man. Unplugged out of the Matrix. So I guess they do have movies like that, so there you go. Yeah. But I still, at the end of the day, think that there's something unique about the human mind that you're just not going to be able to replicate or completely fulfill through technology. So that's
I hope you're right.
That's my prediction.
I think in our time...
I think the hubris that we have leads us to believe that we can, but I don't know. I was thinking too, man, like, I've heard this before, like the first technologically augmented humans were people with like eyeglasses.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like, no. Think about people with fucking shoes. Imagine how trippy it had to be for the first motherfucker that figured out I can strap something to the bottom of my feet and I can literally go walk across these thorns to that tree that the rest of you assholes are sitting over here like dancing around. It must have seemed like fucking magic to see someone walk across something that previously no one else in the history of humans could have walked across. Like, just think how trippy. Like, we take shoes for such granted, but like that is a really, that was it. Like, that was the first technologically enhanced human. I mean, shoes are a technology.
They are technology.
Someone had to, and man, the ability to walk across surfaces.
Hot
like
surfaces.
That hot, sharp rocks. Not have to worry about where your footing is. You can just walk without worrying about it for the most part. It must have seemed like magic. I hope he parlayed that into some good shit. Like, king, become leader of the tribe. Not convincing them he's a god. At least like the hottest chick in the group.
I'm sure his shoes scored him the hottest chick in the group.
I'm sure at least.
I'm sure. Shit, nowadays, good pair of shoes
would do that anyways. Much less the first motherfucker to figure it out, man.
Right.
You might have gotten two.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man.
You got any notes? You just coming in shooting from the hip today?
Man, kind of. I was, I don't know. I had a couple things in mind. What do you got?
I got nothing.
Got nothing?
No, I got nothing.
Man, I don't know. I was thinking we could talk about Kevin had thrown out a couple jiu-jitsu subjects to discuss.
The moving and changing schools?
Yeah, it's kind of like dealing with the new gym, either like changing schools or even just like traveling and coming in, just kind of etiquette or things like the changing schools. I'll be honest with you, I've been lucky enough to where I haven't had to really do that. I mean, yeah, we technically changed schools, but I just kind of went with Kevin, and so it wasn't the same thing. So yeah, but you got some experience.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
one
one first. Like, yeah, man, changing schools is tough, whether it's by choice, like if you live in an area where there's a lot of different schools and you decide to change, that's one scenario. Or you move, like I did. Or, another situation I've seen is to where, like, there was, when I first started training, like the jiu-jitsu place I was training at, it was like an hour drive, 45-minute drive one way. And that was the only place that was doing jiu-jitsu. And then another one of our buddies that used to come train with us started teaching jiu-jitsu at his place, and it was slightly closer. It was like a half-hour drive. Like I could knock 15, 20 minutes off my commute. So I started training there, so that's another.
Yeah.
And we were all kind of the same group of training partners and friends, so it wasn't like a big change, I just paying my dues to another school. But when I moved out here, that was a big change. I've talked about that a bunch of times, and having to go to Denver and train at Mauricio's. Yeah, man, it's a little uncomfortable because you lose your tribe. Let me back up. So when I first moved out here, there wasn't really a jiu-jitsu school here. I've told the story a million times. I started teaching, but I had a handful of guys that came in and trained with me regularly, but it just wasn't the same. Like, one, I didn't really feel like I was equipped to be teaching. I was a fucking 2-stripe blue belt. And I wasn't like a spectacular 2-stripe blue belt, either. Just average, fucking run-of-the-mill 2-stripe blue belt guy. And, I lost my tribe. I had lost the guys I started training with, and it just wasn't the same. And then that's kind of how I fell into doing CrossFit so much. And see, I started going to a CrossFit gym, and there was more of that tribe mentality there.
Yeah.
They just had a better vibe. Like, there was just a better vibe there, man. Like, I really got along with those people. And I kind of found my tribe I was missing. And so, yeah, dude, it's fucking tough, because you lose your tribe, and you move into a new one, and then that tribe's already established, and you're coming in, you're the outsider, so you're trying to find your place in it. You know, it takes a minute. Yeah, like, I don't know. There's no really, like, hard and fast rules except, like, don't be a fucking douche. Yeah. I know that's kind of a general rule, but, yeah, like, when you, especially if, you're getting up higher ranks, purple, brown, and black, and you go to a new school, like, when you first start rolling with people, like, don't go in there just trying to fucking kill everybody. Like, you're not... What kind of message are you going to send? I always kind of... When I go to a different school and train, I let or even a new person, I kind of let them set the pace. Like, if they're going pretty hard, okay, I'll turn up the volume and go hard with them. But, yeah, I'll reciprocate. But I'm not the one really smashing and being a dick.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to fucking tap. Like, you go to a new school... and someone's fucking coming at you like you owe them money, okay, man. Like, and once they realize you're willing to tap and you're not just gonna, just go turbo destructo back at them, it usually kind of takes that edge off. Like, okay, no one's there to prove anything anymore. Let's just train and have fun. Because you know as well as I do, like, the better you get to know somebody, the harder you get to train with them because you trust them. We've talked about that a lot of times. And so you got to go through those. You got to build that trust. Like I have a hard time trusting new people. We're not young. We're fucking 40 years old, and you get some new 22-year-old kid that looks all fucking jacked and going like wrestling like a raped ape. Like, dude, what's the upside of that? You know what I mean? Like, and if you don't trust him, if you don't know how he's gonna behave or how hard he's gonna go on shit, like. It's like, God damn it, man. Like, and so you don't want to be that guy. You got to establish. You got to let everybody know you're not a fucking dick. I guess unless you're a dick.
Right. Maybe let them know.
Maybe let them know. That's just how you roll.
I'm a dick.
I'm a dick. This is what's going down.
That's what's going down.
We slap hands and it's fucking World War III.
That's right.
I mean, if that's how you want to operate, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's not sustainable, but.
No.
And I think if you behave like that too, if you go in just trying to fucking murder everybody, dude, you're not going to be welcomed into the tribe as fast. I'm not saying you got to be a pushover, you know what I mean? But, like, you're not going to be, don't be trying to do bully jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? Like, just play jiu-jitsu, I think is the easiest way to explain that. This is a long fucking explanation. You got to just kind of play jiu-jitsu. And if you get caught, fucking tap. Just reset, you know what I mean? And just get a feel for how you got to kind of take those quote unquote easier rounds and get a feel for how the school functions. Because you got to kind of observe the tribe from the outside. Okay, where's everybody's kind of role in this tribe? All right, this guy does this. Okay, this guy's the one that's talks shit all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every tribe's got their own little personalities, and you got to kind of. Okay, I see. I can fit in here. Like, all right, cool. But if you just go in being a fucking asshole right off the bat, like, it's gonna be a tough transition for you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, because jiu-jitsu schools are close-knit fucking schools, man. And if you come in being a douche and you're rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, guess what? That tribe ain't fucking letting you in.
Right. Yeah.
It's a trust thing, man. Like, people gotta trust you. They gotta know that what kind of person you are, when you get into a shitty situation. Are you the type of guy that says, hey, let's roll light, I'm a little bit injured, and then as soon as you get into a submission, you fucking go Hulk smash mode and start trying to get out? Like, hey, wait a second, I thought we said we were rolling light.
Right.
Those kind of actions, they carry more weight than you think.
Yeah.
People can, smell those and sort those out pretty fast.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that trust factor, I think, is huge. We've had a few. I haven't had to change gyms. We've definitely had a few people move in. And, yeah, you see that for sure. Especially the higher belts, people that have changed gyms before, they come in with that, I don't know, like you said, just kind of feeling out period. Like, and then, yeah, as you realize, like, okay, I can trust this guy. Now we can start to roll harder.
Yep.
And
then it's more fun.
Yeah,
because you trust each other.
Yeah, it comes for sure. But yeah, I think even just going and visiting other schools too. It's just what are you there for? Are you there to like have fun and learn some jiu-jitsu, or are you there for your ego? And man, if people don't trust you, like you're probably not going to see. You're not going to be able to experience like good jiu-jitsu. People are going to roll differently with you. And so, yeah, if your goal is to get better at jiu-jitsu, then setting that tone and letting people kind of see how you can be a trusted member of the tribe is important. So
and it's tough. I mean, and also from the other side of it, like if you are at a gym and someone comes in visiting, it's on you to try to make that person feel welcome. I mean, I don't go over the top. I introduce myself, and talk to them a little bit. Hey, where you from? You moving here? Blah, blah, blah. The niceties and shit. I'm not saying you gotta go out of the way of giving the guy fucking shoulder rubs in between rounds. You know what I mean?
Glad you stopped the shoulder rubs.
But be friendly. Welcome him to the gym and talk to him. And it's part on you too to. Because, it's uncomfortable.
It is.
You left your tribe, you're trying to work yourself into a new tribe, man. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It does. And so...
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely want to encourage, especially, good training partners, they come and go.
Yeah.
And if you got somebody, a potentially good training partner.
And the more training partners you have, the better you're going to be.
Yeah.
But those are our arm bars you're going to get, man.
That's right.
The more different body types, different type of people you got to train with, like, it's just going to make everybody at the school better.
It's investing.
You're investing in your future arm bars.
In your future arm bars.
Or welcoming somebody into your tribe.
Being a little nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As painful as it is for me sometimes, I'm not the most social. I say this, I'm dishing out advice, and I realize I'm throwing rocks from a glass house. Is that how the saying goes? Yeah, I think it is. But because I'm not the most social, outgoing fucking person, and I am hesitant. I've been in this game so fucking long, and I've seen so many people come and go. And part of it, sometimes I get frustrated, man. You invest a lot of time into somebody, and they fucking quit.
Yeah.
Man, that bothers me. I'm just thinking about it. Like, God damn it, man. Like, you made it blue belt and you're almost a purple belt and you fucking quit. Like, motherfucker. Like, what's going on here? We invested a lot of time into you and turning you into a great training partner, making you a better person. You fucking quit? Like, God, what the fuck, man? Like, I get mad. I just don't see it. Like, I don't understand it. And so, I guess I can get calloused and I catch myself. I let that kind of bring my asshole side out a little bit.
Yeah. I know what you mean, man. It's definitely a revolving door, unfortunately, with training partners, especially early on at the, white and blue belt. But, I don't know.
I understand white belts quitting if they come do it for 6 months, a year, and they decide, hey, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Okay. But, like, if you get the blue belt, and then you stop training.
That's why they call it the
blue belt blues.
Blue belt blues, man.
That's when I get mad.
That could be like that's your first. Because people can. It's your first dip. That's what we've talked about before. That's when you really find out about people, what they're made of. Is like that first, the real resistance. That first real down, dip,
slump, so to speak.
Yeah, like that's where you really separate the people and then being able to deal with those slumps over time. But
because they don't just come at blue belt. They come all the time.
All the fucking
time. Every belt, few times here and there.
Yeah.
Like, speaking of that, like Kevin and I were talking about that, like talking about you today. Because we could see like you're really good at handling it, but like we could see you getting a little bit frustrated and I say this with hesitation, but I'll just say it.
Good.
I trust you. I know you won't take offense. Like we see you kind of like you're kind of in one of those slumps, and we're not saying you got shitty jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But we're both seeing like you think you're doing shitty, and so you're getting frustrated with yourself, and we can see it. And we were talking like, but it happens, dude. Yeah. And how you react to that is what separates you. From the fucking people that quit. Because you're not, I know you're not going to quit. You know what I mean? And you're finding a solution. Like I see you working at it. Like you're constantly calculating. You're calculating. You're working at it. And you like, yeah, you get frustrated, but like you're still laughing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're not like discouraged by it.
No.
But there's times to like you get done with a round and and it's funny. Like I get done with a round with you or Kevin will, and I can just see it. Like I seen you like walk away after Kevin, and I was like, "What do you mean to James?" It's like, "Yeah, kind of." I was like, "Oh, you discouraged him."
Well, yeah. I mean,
it happens, dude.
It totally happens.
It
totally happens. Like, it's interesting though. Like, so I was saying, now I'm getting discouraged because I know what I'm doing. Finally, I know what I'm doing wrong on some level, on a better level. That's the first step to getting better. And but yeah, it is because you get stuck, and that's you. You can say it a million different ways. Like, Kevin's been telling me, like, what got you to purple belt ain't gonna get you to brown belt, right? And I've there's a million different ways to say it, but you have to figure out a different way to look at it. Like, the way that what I'm seeing isn't working up to a certain level. And I told you, there's definitely a fucking hard stop on, right there at that brown belt level where my shit just does not work the same way. And I get myself stuck in situations that, I don't find myself stuck in, with people at purple and below as much. And so it gets frustrating for sure. You're like, God damn it. I remember telling Kevin, I'm like, dude, is my game just like bullshit and I didn't realize it up to this point?
Those are the questions you start asking yourself. Has my jiu-jitsu just been that shitty all along, but it's just worked?
Yes.
And why is it not working now?
Built on a house of cards, and I didn't know it.
How come what I'm doing now is not working anymore?
Yes.
Like, fuck. It's discouraging.
It is, man. But it really does boil down to, you got to figure out like the other way to look at it. There's another way to look at the problem that you just don't see. And that's what I was talking about today, where I feel like a little, like I'm getting a better understanding of changing direction with the hips, and understanding, like, their hips are faced this way and mine are faced this way, and what changing direction means. Like, I literally, I don't know what it is. Like, I can, like, little like force vector arrows, like, where your belly button and your hips are. Like, that's where
your power.
That's where you're going. Your direction's going. And if you can look at people and literally like draw that line out from their hips, and there's a fucking arrow going this way, and where are my hips, and you can see, like, when you're starting to get, whatever it is, right? There's just a position where, like, my hips are this way, and if they're winning, then they're trying to wedge my hips into this position, because if I turn, then they're going to have to turn their hips. And so, yeah, you get wedged, and then you can't move your hips. And the next thing you know, you got a goddamn elbow under your forearm, under your jaw, and a knee behind your head, and your head's just, like, pinned to the ground, and you're like,
hating
life. And Kevin's showing you on a video, so here's where you fucked up, right here. This is it. You guys just sit here, so I do this to you just to make you miserable, to make you fucking regret it. And but that's it, man. That's the game. And so, but people have been telling me that from day one. Like, it's all about the angles, change directions, all of these things. But
they make at certain times in your jiu-jitsu path, like, they mean different. Those things mean different things.
Yeah. We were talking, like, Pimento, for whatever reason, when Pimento was out here last time and he was talking about changing the hips, there was something with what he was talking about that really made sense. But yeah, just that, and that's I've seen it myself with coaching, having worked with people for, several years in the gym, and you have oh man, squeeze your glutes and do this for your swing, and all of a sudden things like pop into place, and they're like, why didn't you tell me that before? And it's like, okay, you just have to walk away and not say, like, motherfucker, I've been telling you this from day one. I told you this last week. You know what I mean? Like, for whatever reason, though, today it clicked and it made sense. And that's where, like, both as a coach and a student, honestly, like, you have to, there's just this repetitive nature to what you have to do, and it's not that like, you know, as the student, you just got to realize like, man, it will make sense one day. You just have to have faith that it will make sense. And as the coach, you just have to like, well, you know, sometimes they're just not listening and being a dumbass, but you know, sometimes they are, and it's just for whatever reason, it's not clicking at that point. And so, and that's where like the fine art of coaching comes in, is like, all right, is there another way to describe this or like talk about this?
I look at that a lot when I'm teaching somebody something, because you know we all have our own little vocabulary, mannerisms, a way of explaining something.
Yeah, we got what works for us.
What works for us, and if I see like, you know, if I tell somebody to do something and they're not doing it, at first, you know, my first initial is, well, they're just not fucking listening, or they don't understand. One of the two. Right. And then if I see a second person making the same mistake, then I start questioning, okay, how do if I see 2 or more people under me at the gym making the same mistake, it's because I'm not teaching it properly. That's how I say, okay, I need to reword this. I need to find a different way to restructure this explanation, this position, the principle, something, because it's not clicking. Yeah. You know, and that's not always easy to do either.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. Because the way you see it and the way you explain it, you've already like got it concise as you think possible. Like, this is what needs to happen in this position, and you're not fucking doing it. But if several people aren't doing it, then you got to think, okay, let's find another way around this problem. Yeah. You know, it's just a matter of...
Well, it's an impossible problem because you're trying to describe something that can't really be described. Right. You know, or like trying to describe being in love or a psychedelic experience or something like that. It's just like words, you know, we're trying, but and that's the whole thing. But what's even worse is when you tell someone something and it's like, oh man, I just fucked them all up with that. Like, that was that's a bad coaching cue. Take that one off the list. Jesus, man.
Dude, I've done that more than once.
Hell yeah. And then you get that one person who gets stuck in their head, and they're like, oh man, I fucked this person up for like the next 6 months of their jiu-jitsu career. I'm sorry.
But they focused on one detail.
Yeah, this one thing.
This one detail that they thought was so important that you're like, why are you putting so much effort into that one foot position?
Thing,
like, I don't understand.
And everything else is off. You got that one thing down pat. But yeah, it's funny, man. That's the
I kind of got off topic, so just go back to like going to a new school or changing schools. Hey, there's a lot of we say jiu-jitsu a lot, swallowing the pride, swallowing the ego. Just don't be an asshole, man. Go in there and I can't think of another way to say it. Just play jiu-jitsu. Have fun. Just go in there with the mindset to have fun. Yeah. And then that'll allow you to train hard. You know, if the people see you're there to have fun, and then you kind of shorten your path into that tribe, you know, and people trust you, then you can start training hard. Because if you trust someone, you know if they get a submission, they're not going to fucking just rip your arm out of socket. And that's when people like to see that. Like, because then I know I can really go hard with that person. Because if I screw up and they catch me, like, I know I'm not going to get hurt. They'll give me a second tap and boom, reset. Yeah. But yeah, there's a little dance there.
Take the long view.
Yeah, take the long view. Don't try to force yourself into that fucking tribe and be an asshole about it. It's weird. I'm giving all the social advice and I'm an antisocial motherfucker, man.
Well, yeah. And the other thing too, for your own health, is like most gyms have a fucking regulator. And so if you just come in and you're just showing yourself to, be an asshole, like, you may get the regulator unleashed on you and just get fucking red lit, like, hey, this guy's, he needs to learn the lesson. So, like, for your own self-preservation on some level, because, unless you're the baddest motherfucking jiu-jitsu dude in the world, and if that's the case, and you're probably not listening to this, and the advice doesn't apply to you, like, odds are there's someone out there better than you. So if you're coming in there and just being disrespectful, being where, again, like we've talked about, man, jiu-jitsu, sometimes you got to deliver messages will be delivered through osmosis.
Cross-face
osmosis, settle down, rowdies. I mean, there's so yeah, anyways, my point is you're both from getting yourself into the tribe better and creating a better training experience and training partners. You're also gonna save yourself some beating at some point down the road, man. So that just is gonna serve no purpose for anyone. So I mean, unfortunately, we've had, we've seen that, like, people that just don't get it.
They just don't get it. Even the beatings you put on them.
Yeah.
They just don't fucking get it.
Yeah. It's like, man,
But then those people aren't around anymore either.
Right. They self-select out.
They get hurt, and then, that's one of the biggest reasons people end up quitting.
Yeah.
Because they get hurt, and then they got to take a month or two off. Next thing you know, it's been 6 months, then a year.
Yeah.
Then you just don't fucking see them.
Yeah. There's just no reason to... I mean, it's just bad, being a bad human being. Yeah. We're like we were talking about earlier, man. We're social humans, and like you have to invest in in your tribe. And so, like you're saying, there's a little bit of a dance that you're gonna have to play. And as that, things kind of get sorted out, and like, well, there's a time and a place to go hard, and it's not day one in a new gym with like a lower belt, kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's like, just freaking play jiu-jitsu, have fun. And but yeah, it's such an important thing, man. Like, jiu-jitsu, you have to have someone else. It's like I've said this before, it's like the polar opposite of mountain biking, where it's such a solo sport. I don't need anyone. I can go ride mountain bikes my whole career and never ride with anyone. It's almost funner to not ride with people. It's kind of a pain in the ass to ride with people. Like, you got to find just the right people to ride with to make it fun. Because if they're too fast or too slow, or they talk too much, or whatever the fuck it is, man. Too much. I'm like, dude, it's called bike riding, not bike talking, motherfucker. Let's go. But like, you have to have training partners with jiu-jitsu. You cannot survive in the jiu-jitsu wilderness by yourself. It's impossible. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of good advice in general. I mean, just checking yourself and how you roll at your own academy at times. I mean, much less changing schools, just like make sure, like, man, am I like beast moding my way out of things on people? Like, if I get in a bad position with someone I outweigh or whatever, it's like, where, we've talked about it. It's like, why am I doing that? Is this just ego, or is this like, no, we're going hard and this is like a good hard round and they're coming at me with it? You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely a time and a place. But dude, if you outweigh someone you're rolling with a girl that you outweigh by 30 pounds and she gets you in a bad position and you just like sit up. I mean, we've seen it, man. Like, those training partners they wash out eventually. Like, you got to learn how to be a good training partner. I guess if you know how to be a good training partner already, what's funny is like, this is self-evident. Like, you kind of know how to get yourself integrate yourself into a new gym, because it's just be a good training partner. So
yeah, it just goes back, don't be a douche.
Yeah, man, don't be a douche.
Don't be a douche.
So, all right, well, there you go. That was the topic that Kevin suggested for us to cover. And
it was a long, circuitous route. I started with don't be a douche.
We went on this
path, and then we're back.
Yeah, man.
Just don't be a douche.
Yeah, don't be a douche.
Don't be an asshole until you're good friends with all your training partners. Then you can be assholes to each other.
I know.
Then it's fun. Then you expect it. I get disappointed when I feel like when someone's not being an asshole, when like you or Kevin or somebody, like oh, they're being nice. Like, why are they being nice right now? Like, they should be fucking smashing me right now.
That's just, I don't, yeah. Every once in a while, I have a tough time getting mean. Like, my personality with jiu-jitsu on the mats is like, because I feel like if I get mad, I've talked about this before, like coming from mountain biking, like aggression equals bad things in that environment. So it's like, it's hard to get me like fucking mad. It happens.
You don't have to be mad to be aggressive.
It's not a binary thing, right? It's a spectrum. So you have to get me closer to the mad side of things to get aggressive, because Otherwise, I'm just like, I don't know.
See, I don't know. Maybe that's what you gotta fix.
That's what I do need to fix. It's like Kevin's always yelling at me, and you guys are always yelling at me.
Maybe that's what you need to fix, because like a certain level of aggression makes me happy. Like, oh, this guy's turning up the aggression. Like I get to, like, yeah.
I know.
Like, dude, I dig it. It adds a little fucking fuel to the fire, man. Like, yeah.
Maybe that's another reason I don't do it. I refuse to accept your gift of aggression, Rob.
I'm willing to give it. I will keep on giving. That's a gift that keeps on giving.
I hear ya.
The
Yeah.
gift of aggression.
No, I and it's funny, man. I say that, but I've definitely put some knees in people's eyes from side control. So, the Teddy Roosevelt.
Kevin did that to me today. As he was putting his shin on my face, he's like, "What do you fags call this?" I was like, "That's the Teddy Roosevelt." I was like, "That's pretty good." As he's just fucking smashing me. I was like, "That's a pretty good application of it right there."
Yeah, that's a good one. That's the one. It's usually, that's a really effective freaking move, man.
Yeah.
You can get people to quit doing stupid shit or settle down pretty quickly. So, but yeah, there's a time and place for all that stuff.
I used a proper application of it today when I was passing Paul's guard.
Nice.
And he thought he was going to get the baseball bat choked from the bottom.
No.
And then afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, I knew that knee was coming to my face." I was like, "You let go pretty fast, didn't you?" He's like, "Yeah."
Yeah. At a certain point, man, you realize that submissions are not a fucking defense for someone passing your guard. Like, it can work.
It can work.
Stuffing the head down into the reverse triangle or catching a baseball bat
choke or loop choke.
Loop choke. I mean, it's there.
It's there.
But if they get that knee on the eye first,
then it's
not there anymore. So there's the race. And I'll be honest with you, I'll take my chances on that one most of the time. But yeah, dude, that's fucking fun, man. Jiu-jitsu's funny.
It's
that
so
way.
much fun, dude.
It is good that way. But anyways, how'd we get on that?
Who knows?
I forget.
How do we get on any of the shit we talk about?
I don't know. So we can. What did we do? We shot some technique videos.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped, man. Like we shot quite a few videos yesterday, and some workout stuff, little things we like to do, a few technique videos, and we're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah.
So that's cool for.
So by the time this one comes out, we'll have released 2 of them. I think we were gonna do the perfect swing. I got that video ready to rock, and then the technique video, which will probably run one of yours. What'd you do? You did. Oh, your back.
Trapping the arm from the back triangle, and then
the Hollywood.
The
Hollywood yes.
sweep.
So we'll do the Hollywood, man.
We'll do the
So by the time people listen to this, yeah, we'll have, you can check Grumpy Guy BJJ. We'll have posted those videos too. So we'll have the perfect swing and the Hollywood.
The Hollywood sweep.
Reversal.
I've been doing that shit since blue belt.
Yeah, man, it's a good north-south reversal sweep, whatever you want to call it.
I'm sure Kevin will see it, and then he'll put out the anti-Hollywood instructional.
Good.
Just to be an asshole.
Hey, man, Kevin needs something to do. We keep him busy. Like, fucking with us is at least a part-time job.
It is definitely a part-time job.
Of his, so it's good. We got to give him some material. But yeah, that perfect swings, actually, that's an interesting... Yeah,
we
did that.
We played with it yesterday.
Yeah.
With the bear complex, or I don't know what you call that.
Yeah.
The thing around your legs.
Yeah, the hip circle thing. So like the basic idea, again, like check out the video. So the point of the swing is to train the hips, right? So we're working the hip hinge and the explosive hip hinge. I mean, there's some things going on there, but that's kind of the primary focus of it. And so one of the things that I picked up was that from that Perform Better thing was that the hips, they or at the hips, your glutes, which are a really important part of your hips. If your glutes aren't working properly, if they're not as strong as they could be, then you get like synergistic dominance with the hamstrings. They're doing more work than they need to, which leads to a lot of tight hamstrings. You can get some lower back stuff going on as well. So you need good, strong, functional glutes for your your hips to work properly. And so the glutes, they rotate at the hip. They're responsible for that rotation, which is super fucking important for jiu-jitsu, man. Like being able to rotate your hips and change your knee angle without necessarily changing your hip angle as well, is super important. And then also the adduction or abduction, so pushing the knees out. And so that your glutes do three things: the extension, the rotation, and the abduction, pushing out. And so yeah, I was fucking around, put that little hip circle around the knees, so you got the abduction. And then the ram roller is the best. Like that little that weighted roller was the best tool, but it's like you hold that, you're doing like a rotational swing coming to the side, and you're hitting all three of those movements, those things in this one exercise. And so you're hitting your glutes in a much more effective way than your hips. And so yeah, you seem to like it.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah, you can do it with the ram roller, the steel mace, and the heavy Indian club. And so the video will show you how to do all three.
Did you do all three in there?
Yes. Yeah. I showed how to use the three tools to do it.
I think I'm gonna do that with my heavy. I got a 25-pound Indian club at home.
Dude, the Indian clubs are really nice. I really like that rotational swing with the Indian club. The mace is my least favorite. I like the ram roller is really nice, but the Indian club.
Have you tried it with the sandbag, or is it too big and clunky?
You can do the sandbag, but it's
kind of big. It's kind of
yeah. Well, the thing is like it's the leverage point. It's different, right? Like with the mace and the Indian club, the leverage is offset. Like I don't know how to explain it. You're sitting here looking at me, but it's like you're holding it's like runs. If you're making fists, the leverage is running like parallel or through your hands. And with a kettlebell or a sandbag, it's out away from your hands. So like the leverage is a little different. And so I don't know. The sandbag version I've always felt was just a little too it's supposed to be unstable, but it always just felt a little too unstable. Like I'm spending more time trying to control this thing than I am actually just doing the fucking movement. Right, which at a certain point it just starts to, I think, a point of diminishing returns. But so yeah, you can do it with a sandbag for sure. I for me that movement is much more effective with the ram roller or the heavy Indian club. If all I had was a sandbag, I would use it. But yeah, I think that it's probably one of the lesser effective modes. But like I said in the video, though, the one tool that you can't use is the kettlebell, and it's fucking dangerous. I tried it because I just wanted to be objective, you know what I mean? I know I've been bashing on the kettlebell lately, and so I just wanted to make sure I...
45 episodes
Yeah, 45 minutes.
I think episode 3 was why James hates the kettlebell.
Yeah.
It was pretty early on.
So... but I wanted to be objective and just try it. And it's I wonder if I can do this movement with the kettlebell. And man, no, the two, again, can you do it? Yeah, you can do it. You can hack your way through it. But again, it's not the most effective tool. It's like trying to use a hammer to screw something in with a screw. It's can I do it? Yeah, it's just fucking a little ugly, and it's not the right tool for it. And so the two-handed version was really funky, and then I tried doing a one-handed cross-body version, and dude, I fucking hit my knee. If you don't watch it, the clearance on that kettlebell, because it goes out to the side, and I clipped the side of my knee. I was like, oh man, that's dangerous as hell. So yeah, don't try it with your kettlebell. It's not very effective, or danger-based swings.
Danger-based swings, new thing.
But yeah, that video. Check the video out and try it. But I mean, like I said, you experience. Once you try it, it's kind of we just keep piling on. But it's fuck, I don't know if I'll ever do a kettlebell swing again of my own accord, in a workout. You know what I mean? I may grab just have some fun, or if I'm at some thing where they're oh, we're gonna do kettlebell swings, I'll do it. But for me to be like, I'm working out today, and part of my workout is kettlebell swings. I'm like, fuck, I don't know when that day's ever gonna come again.
I couldn't tell you the last time I did a workout with kettlebell swings.
No.
To be honest with you.
No. Like, there's so many other more effective options. I mean, just regular Indian club swings, like we've said a million times. That's, like, if you just want to work, like, so that rotational swing, I'll admit, that's definitely a little advanced. So even if you just want to work a normal, just hip extension, like we've said before, the regular Indian club swing, especially Indian club swing to attention, where you're catching the Indian clubs at the top, is way more effective. And you can still go ahead and put the band around the knees, so you can still get that abduction going on with the Indian club swing, because you're not swinging something between your legs, which you can't really do with the kettlebell swing. So you're still hitting 2 out of 3 with the Indian club swings and the abduction belt, or the hip circle thing around your knees. And the fucking kettlebell, I don't know, poor thing. It had a shining moment, man. It may never go away. It may be the fucking elliptical trainer of the functional fitness world at some point.
I think that's where it's going to fall into.
Yeah. Where
it's never going to go away.
Everybody in the know is going to look at it and be like, God damn, man, are you kidding me? You guys just using that? You know, it's like people looking at the people on the elliptical. It's like, really? Don't you know? Like, there's such more better things to do than 45 minutes on the elliptical. Like, Jesus Christ, go run for 45 minutes. Like,
let's just do some bodyweight squats.
Let's just,
push-ups.
Yeah, yeah. Like, it's probably the most least effective way. Dude, I saw this commercial. It was for a fake, like, Fitbit type thing. And they were saying one of the features was that you could send calories to your enemies. I was like...
Awesome.
I don't know what. It's so funny.
That would be such a good way to fuck with somebody. Like, if you knew someone was tracking their calories on, like, MyFitnessPal on their phone, and you could get into their account and, like...
you could send them calories.
Send them calories, and so they go to look at it, like, oh, man, I can't eat anymore today. That would be a good way to fuck with each other.
Oh, man. Yeah, that would be. So... And we were talking about we need to put a feature on if it's not already on one of these Fitbit Apple Watch things, how much time you're spending in the deep squat each day. So we got the pedometer, we know how many steps you're taking, we know what your heart rate is, we know all this other shit, but how much time are you spending? So
you squat below parallel.
Yeah, Steve's goal for everybody was 20 minutes a day. You should be down in that deep squat position. Speaking of which, I'm going to spend the next minute of this podcast
in
the deep squat. This is it. So I'm trying to get part of my time in. And if I had a Fitbit that somehow could measure my ass in relation to the ground, you know, because you couldn't just, I think you'd have to get credit for like a full squat, right? Can you just like quarter squat?
No, it's got to be. You got to break 90.
No. So, anyways, somebody needs to put that on a watch. I still won't buy it, but it'll be more functional in my mind. So, anyways, and then the Hollywood, man. Tell us about the Hollywood tease. We want to do a little tease because we want people to check out the
Hollywood.
videos.
Like I said, I came up with that,
and I want to say, like, he won't say it, but it is a very effective move. It's fucking frustratingly effective because everyone in the gym knows this is Rob's move, and the motherfucker will still hit it on you. I mean, if he gets set up and gets the position, he'll still hit it. And his claim to fame was he actually reversed Pimenta with this move. I
think he let me.
You know, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying that, like, it was legitimate enough to where. Anyways, I'm just saying it's a good move. I'm not saying like you're gonna go out there and, like, you know, hit it on fucking high level black belts. I'm just saying that it's a very effective fucking move, and so frustratingly so. But yeah, Rob's the master.
Like I said, I came up with it around blue belt, a fairly new blue belt, and I don't even know how I stumbled upon it, to be honest with you. I don't remember anybody teaching it to me. I remember using it as a way to escape side control.
Yeah.
I would basically force north-south.
Yeah. That's what makes it kind of unique, because you'll force north-south from side control.
I'll force north-south into the grips and the arm positions that I want. and then I hit it from there.
Yeah.
So it's a reversal from north-south.
Yeah.
And that's why you don't get points, because, you know, in a jiu-jitsu tournament for a sweep, for 2 points, you got to have some sort of leg entanglement. That's how I've had it explained to me why. I actually have had refs give me points for it. That's the refs that aren't privy to what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but man, it sets you. Once you hit it, you're usually in a really good position for the paper cutter. You know, Kimuras, like you hit the reversal. You end up in a good position for some real good attacks,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's money.
Yeah. So, anyways, gotta check out the video.
So we're putting that out.
The video demo to check it out. But yeah, it's a good
fun.
move, man. It's an effective move. So I still remember you showing that to me. I haven't mastered it quite to your level, like, at all, really.
You just got it. Well, because the problem is, you take a lot of fucking ass whoopings practicing it because you force a north-south.
That's my problem. I don't like to force
And
north-south.
if someone's good at like the Jeff Munson choke from north-south, you know, and they beat your arm position,
Yeah.
you get fucking smothered.
Yeah.
You know, it's so, yeah, there is plenty of ass whoopings that come along with trying to learn
Right.
that reversal.
Yeah.
So you got to be willing to
It's more, for me, it's more like when people are going north-south, like,
try to time it. And,
yeah, you know, because, yeah, it's an effective way to deal with someone going north-south, because it's not always the easiest thing, especially someone who knows what they're doing up there. But anyways, yeah, it's a good move. So
it's fun.
Got to check it out. So we'll have a couple the perfect swing and some jiu-jitsu. We got some other cool stuff on tap. We're gonna be trying to. I mean, really, our ultimate goal is to Rob and I have spent quite a bit of time talking about this, like trying to figure out how to integrate all the stuff that we talk about. Like there's the strength and conditioning side, like strength and mobility. There's the drills. There's the kind of philosophy of a position, kind of instructional of like, here's the basic stuff, and there's a lot of all these different layers, and how do we integrate all this stuff together? Because right now there's a lot of cool stuff, but you're kind of left to your own devices to be like, okay, well, like
to put it all together.
it all together.
Yeah, you have to go get an instructional that you like a straight up jiu-jitsu instructional. Then you have to go get a workout and conditioning program that you like. Then you got to get a mobility program that you like. And yeah, so
and then you hope that they complement each other.
They don't necessarily all complement each other.
Yeah.
And that's what we're working towards. We want to build some badass fucking programs for you guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna do the legwork and put all those together.
Yeah.
To where they complement each other. Like here's some, like you said, here's some philosophies and some positions. Here's some drills and some moves. Here's some strength and conditioning and mobility that complements all of that. So you're not trying to play this guessing game of piecing shit together.
Yeah.
We're sorting it out.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of trial and error. We're sorting it out.
Yeah. Really, at its simplest level, like that's all. When it's a sport-specific training program, like that's really all it is like integrating all of these different aspects together. And the mistake that you see it all the time. You see it like less with like MMA is probably a good example, right? Like you see a lot more integration between people's strength and conditioning and their striking and their jiu-jitsu. Like people understand now, like you can't just go do jiu-jitsu and go do striking and have a strength and conditioning coach who are all just on their own page and are all just doing their own thing.
They gotta work together.
They have to work together, and you've seen this evolution, like the MMA. I think that's one of the reasons that you're seeing, the level of MMA start to, it's been rising rapidly in the last, 5 years or so. And that's, you see a lot less of that fragmented approach. But we don't really necessarily, like, that's kind of what we're talking about. Like, how do you do that? Like, so for example, like side control. Right? If you want to get better at getting out of side control, it's not just like you're saying. Like right now, it'd be like trying to find some instructional on side control escapes, and then trying to figure out some drills that you can do based on that instructional, and then hopefully try and figure out like, okay, what are some strength and conditioning moves that'll help me with this as part of an overall program. And like, yeah, that's
by the time you get that many layers deep into figuring it out, like you get lost in the weeds.
You just don't do it. Yeah,
you don't do
it. That's
No.
just not where it's at, and that's kind of what, you know, our vision for this stuff is. And I don't know. I'm like, I get, the thing is I like to make things that I want.
Yeah.
Right. And so like this is like what I would want. This was always my frustration. I remember when I was a white belt, you know, my frustration was the trying to piece these different things together and how do I, you know, do it. And so yeah, I think it'll be good because it's gonna help me and hopefully it'll help some other people. But I think that's the coolest shit when you're making stuff because you're like, man, I want this. This would be really cool. Why isn't anybody else doing this? Like, cause I want to buy it. Like I want to use it. And then it's like, well, shit, I guess
Let's make it.
we'll make it. So, anyways, that's kind of our plan for it. But anyways, in the meantime, we'll be doing more videos and stuff like that. So,
Man, make sure you follow us. Instagram, Facebook.
yeah, we got KLA on top of that, being way more social.
The newsletter.
Yep.
Go to grumpyguybjj.com. Sign up for podcast updates.
Yeah, that's right.
Get yourself some R3.
Yes, R3, man. Dude, people have been digging that.
Okay, dude. Every person we've got taking it
Comes back and gets
comes
more.
back and gets more, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I've even told a couple people that are taking it, like, hey, you know, because there's sometimes you take a lot of supplements and you don't know whether it's working or not. Like, I'll straight up tell them, all right, take it, buy a bottle, take it for a month, and then when you run out of that bottle, like, don't take it for a week, don't take it for 2.
Yeah.
Let me know how your hands and shit feel.
Yeah.
And then I guarantee you'll come back and buy it. I've told a lot of people that, like, yeah, dude, that's the easiest way, man.
Yeah.
Just don't take it for 2 weeks.
I know.
And let me know, like, I didn't realize I was feeling so good.
I guess that should be the wording is like, don't take it unless you like, yeah, because once you take it and then you stop taking it and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is how shitty I was feeling.
You don't realize you were feeling shitty until you were feeling good.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, my hands shouldn't hurt that much in the morning when I wake up.
Right.
You know, I shouldn't be creaking and popping in the morning and I have to warm myself up. I should just wake up and be like, oh, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, man. No, I told you yesterday when we were talking, like, I've been using that shit, you know, the vitamin. Again, it's like, people don't know it's our vitamin K2, D3 supplement, and K2 itself in particular was something that I was turned on to by a buddy of mine, and he was saying, like, man, this thing is you know, a great supplement, got some good research behind it, but it in particular helps with inflammation, you know, particularly like arthritis and stuff. And so I've been taking it for years at this point, and same thing, man, I can tell if I haven't not taken it for a while, but if I do for whatever reason, if I'm traveling or forget to take it, I can definitely feel it. But man, I'm always surprised. There's still always a point of me that's like a little surprised when people are like, damn, this stuff works for me too. Because I'm like, you know, well, maybe I'm just crazy. But yeah, more often than not, when people use it, especially jiu-jitsu people.
Because
like
we abuse our grips.
Oh, man.
We're using this grip heavy.
Yeah.
Dude. Like,
yeah. So it makes a big difference. But yeah, get some R3 and check that out. We got a program we'll be releasing here later this month as well, our ramping isometric program. So yeah, trying to step things up a little bit and help
exciting
you guys
times
out,
for
man.
the Grumpy Guy BJJ world.
Yeah.
Take care of the people that listen to us.
Like I said, man.
Come up with some cool shit.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
It's exciting.
It is, man. There's a lot of cool stuff out there, but there's a couple things that Rob and I see that maybe the jiu-jitsu community could benefit from, and so we're going to see if they agree with us. So there you go. That's our plans.
Fuck yeah.
So
Let's call it a wrap.
Let's call it a wrap on that, man. All right, well, I guess that's it. So we'll talk to everybody next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to the Grumpy Guy BJJ Podcast.
Thank you all for listening. You can find us on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever else you listen to podcasts. please make sure to subscribe and leave us a review. It really does help and will allow us to keep putting out episodes. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, hit us up at grumpyguybjj@gmail.com. Also, go to our website, grumpyguybjj.com, and get signed up for podcast updates and get our free BJJ Improvement Starter Kit. That's it for now, so get on the mat, train hard, and talk to you all next week.
Down clown with a permanent rep, a hermit now, boom. Doggy stool, foggy, cool, got a froggy, outside Molly dude. Melancholy Daisy Duke, hanging by the lace of their shoes. No trace of the tools, shaped into face, fuck the rules. Snooze, you lose, one eye always open, at times two, no clue. But soon a brief monsoon might give you a view to choose. Stay tuned, include, won't conclude. To the end is near, beware there's consequences for what you do. To me, demon, a devil of many levels, I keep on beating. For several of them rebels, me, myself, and I. Me, myself, and I.